Despite the uncertainty about what the Oak Island treasure might consist of or whether or not it even exists, there have been no shortage of treasure hunters and explorers willing to look for it since McGinnis first discovered the Money Pit back in the 1790s. By the early 1800s, a number of companies such as the Onslow Company had been set up to dig around the Money Pit and elsewhere on the island. However, as they dug down dozens of feet, they were constantly thwarted by water rushing into the subterranean layers inside the Money Pit. Indeed, about 60 meters below the surface the Money Pit becomes so elaborately booby-trapped with flood tunnels that to this very day no one has figured out how to stop the pit from flooding, and no one has made it to the bottom. This impression of an elaborately protected burial chamber and the discovery over the years of random objects such as bits of old parchment, hunks of rusted iron and even a stone with elaborate carvings on it, have only added to the mystery and convinced many adventurers that there is something to be discovered on Oak Island. It has even attracted some famous personalities over the years. We may never know if there really is treasure buried on Oak Island, whether at the Money Pit or somewhere else on this small region off Nova Scotia. But it remains one of the more intriguing stories of legendary treasure to have circulated in the modern era. While we may dismiss as fantastical the idea of the site being a secret repository for the jewels of an infamous Queen of France or being the key to identifying Francis Bacon as the real author of Hamlet and Macbeth, it is not implausible to imagine that Oak Island was a pirate haven at some time in the 17th or 18th centuries and that stolen loot was buried here. All of this is compounded by the curious nature of the site, which McGinnis and his friends first started digging down into in 1795. Here we have a strange glacial formation which continuously floods with water. One which has been rendered even more intriguing by the discovery over time of strange artifacts, including a stone with unusual symbols and video footage of what looks like a chest and a skeleton, down in the depths of the Money Pit. Given all this, it is hardly strange that Oak Island has attracted as much attention as it has over the years. Maybe someday actual treasure will be uncovered here. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, developed an interest in it as a young man when he heard details of the supposed treasure as a result of his father having business interests in Nova Scotia. He regularly sought out news about developments on Oak Island throughout his life thereafter and had even planned on visiting the site in 1939 before the outbreak of the Second World War in Europe scuppered his plans. Similarly, the famed mid-century actors, Errol Flynn and John Wayne, both invested in expeditions to find the Oak Island treasure. These have been to little avail, but they continue to bring up evidence which intrigues and puzzles people in equal measure. For instance, in the early 1970s a camera was dropped into the Money Pit and captured an image of what some people believe is a wooden chest and the skeletal remains of a human hand. All further incentives to believe that this really is the site of a lost pirate treasure. People are still hunting for the treasure today by participating in treasure hunts on the island. Several companies have established tourist sites here in the last 20 to 30 years, and some of these have acquired licenses to continue searching for the legendary treasure of Oak Island.